is Homart. So I think you've seen a little bit about our brands and who we are. This is what we do. Now I want to talk a little bit about the NAD plus boost that Bagaimana do. I just think it's a good idea to see from a technical point of view sort of what the combination of the ingredients are, what's the purpose and their performance of the actual dose. And feel free to ask me any questions as we go. So, what the great thing about the process, let me start again. Who here eats breakfast? No one.
Yeah, we eat. I mean, everyone.
Does everybody here eat breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Today.
Yeah? Does everybody here eat lunch?
Yes.
Does everybody here eat dinner?
Yes.
Okay, what about snacking?
Occasionally.
I've had a few snacks. But what we do is feed our body for fuel. Okay, so some people can look at that as fueling their activity. So sometimes marathon runners eat specifically to run for an endurance, so their muscles go in a different way, and so that they have the endurance to do that. Some people just eat because it's tasty. So they might choose a cake or, some sweets to eat to drive some hunger. Okay, so we get hungry and then we eat. Our body needs certain nutrients. So we put it into our mouth. From our mouth, it goes into our stomach. And then we have processes in our stomach that draws nutrients away from the food into our bloodstream. That's over what's called, it's just through gastrointestinal. So once it's in, let's just say that your gut lining is perfect. Okay, not anybody has a very good gut lining because we generally will need some probiotics or some fruit to make sure that's well. Let's pretend that everyone's gut's okay. Those nutrients are pulled out into the bloodstream, it's filtered through our liver. Then we have particles in every cell of our body that different target cells will call for. So your brain will say, hey, can I have this? Your muscles will go, hey, can I have this? Your heart will say, hey, I need this. So there's certain nutrients that are required for every target cell in our body, particularly if we're not well or if we're not feeling particularly that good, whether we're feeling sad or if we're feeling fatigued. So what we want to do is supplement our food with key things that make sure these things work. Because sometimes our food is not the best quality. Sometimes we have heavy rainfall, therefore we don't get the right food. Sometimes we have drought. Sometimes we buy protein like our beef or our pork, or we buy them from overseas and they're not particularly that great. So therefore we need to supplement. This is one of the ones that we do need to supplement, an NAD. And this is why this one's becoming quite popular. Because it does what's called a redox situation, or it's called an oxidation reduction process. And it happens in the mitochondria of our cells. Does anyone know where the mitochondria is in our cell?
Yes.
Can you tell me?
Energy products.
So every single cell, the whole body is made up of cells, right? We're just cells with energy. Every single cell has a mitochondria. So the cell that you have on your face, the cell you have in your heart, every single one. So mitochondria creates energy. So what we do, when you have a piece of protein, we then get a particle, which is generally a nitrogen particles, which then go through a process of hydrolysis, which is a water-soluble process. When it goes into reduction, it produces a negative 0.32 volt of electricity. So when you put on a light, we see there's a volt of electricity. So every single cell in your body, as we do the reduction oxidation process, is sparking some electricity. That's reduction. Oxidation then is the opposite. So in our body, we have every is an equal and opposite reaction, right? So we have a reduction, then we have an oxidation. This happens in our cell all the time. Generally, if we're taking great protein and great vitamins through our food, we won't need this. The problem is we're not getting that nutrients through our foods at the moment because of technology or farming conditions or whatever. So this is a great nutrient to take that you're going to get that reduction oxidation process. Now, because as well, this goes through what's called our blood-brain barrier, which is a lining that separates our brain from the skull, that holds our brain in position. Because, you know, if you held a brain, it'd just go like a watermelon. Doesn't really. So we have a blood-brain barrier, which holds our brain intact into our skull, and it's held by a barrier. Not all nutrients will go through that blood-brain barrier, only some. This one does. So therefore, you've got a reduction oxidation process in your neurons in your brain. That's why this has been shown for great neurodegeneration diseases such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Now, this is also because it supports the cellular processes in your body. It is a great antioxidant as well, so it helps in any sort of antioxidant conditions such as aging, taking our wrinkles away, but also making us feel lots of vitality and feeling well. What do you think? Any questions? Does that help? I think you know all this.
I am the chief scientific advisor of BioGreen.
What am I doing? Did I do all right?
Yes, I think like you're bringing probably, I mean, like to their level, maybe there's some chemistry stuff that they might struggle to understand.
Yeah.
But to me, you are great.
I tried to make it.
It's okay. I mean, like it's my job to make them understand later on.
Yeah.
Huh?
Do you take?
Yes, I take. I mean, like in a good day, I'll take it out. One capsule,
Yes.
but when I need more nutrition, sometimes your body may need more nutrients to support this. I'll take up to 2 tablets.
Wow. And look, you. Looks fit.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You look well.
Yes. Oh, okay. I need to give an example. You know, I need to practice what I preach.
Okay. So you don't have cake.
I do have cakes, but I know how to burn it off.
Yeah. Good. So with this NAD Plus boost that we manufacture here, have you had some feedback from people as to what good that's been doing?
I mean, like generally, I mean, like in terms of efficacy, I think like a lot of people are reporting a positive feedback that we are able to use or utilize that to target a very wide range of diseases as a supportive, right? And then I also usually have a health seminar like bi-weekly to explain more in detail about the NAD Plus and the efficacy, and sometimes like some paper publication to support what I am going to explain to them. Sometimes they are asking questions, you know, okay, so I have this kind of disease, how many should I take, and etc. Will I get poison and etc. Like you mean like, you know, some of these are the derivative of vitamin B3 which should be safe to consume. I mean like even you take as much as 20 tablets, it will not kill you.
No.
20 tablets.
It's a water-soluble
Yes.
vitamin. So when it's a water-soluble,
Oh,
it means that it will just get rid of anything you don't need. And it'll just go through the kidneys, and then it'll just
and
go
even,
away.
yes, it improves the kidney function as has been observed. Right, so I already looked for the, evidence, and it even have this, what we call it renoprotective, hepatoprotective and renoprotective. So it supports and even improve the kidney functions. This is my sister and my brother-in-law.
Really?
Yes.
They're better looking.
That's great to hear, Gabby.
And it makes sense because it's renoprotective. Because if you don't need it, it will go through your kidneys to be excreted. So therefore, the redox situation, the redox action that this does, will actually protect the kidneys. So I haven't seen the evidence, but it certainly makes
Yeah,
a lot of sense.
so basically, what I mean, like, if you want to look for the evidence and journals, so you can, like go to the PubMed and anything. You can type, protective NAD plus. So they are mounting evidences that they've been shown through the multiple mechanisms that it can support and even improve kidney function, especially for people with acute kidney injury.
There you go. Yeah, very good. Now, the last group asked me a question, which I'm happy for you to answer, is when you should take it in the day. Should it be in the morning or during the day? Now, I said it depends on when you eat, because
Yes.
if you eat, you'll still have the NAD. But if you're not getting the right nutrients, you may need this to assist in that.
Yes.
So I would say before exercise. So if you
Yes,
exercise
so
in the
you
morning,
can have a boost of the NAD plus, because NAD plus is a facilitator, because NAD will assist the mitochondria to convert into the ATP, which is the energy. So it's the energy is not only for exercise, right? It can have literally all of the cellular function depends on this. ATP, which is many of them are facilitated by NAD. One NAD can bring 3 ATP.
that's right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very well. Thank you very much.
Has anyone got any questions?
Itu dong USB dong, tanyain.
So I mean, like, nowadays there will be mounting people are bringing in the NAD plus to the market, which may become our potential competitors. So I mean, it would be great if we had some strategy, like a unique selling point. Since you're the head of OEM, so you might have some insight or some advice that you can give to us, so that we have more advantage. What kind of unique selling point that we can provide to our leaders, so that they can tell to the other potential customers.
Yeah, so
Oh, maybe it might be
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
No.
Sorry
So
to
what-
disturb your
No,
presentations.
no. What I did when I researched this ingredient, I looked at, in Australia, the TGA has so many claims.
Yes.
So we have to be very specific about the claims that we can make. The Australia TGA is probably the highest and most strictest,
the hardest,
the hardest
even-
regulatory body
yes,
in the world. And our GMP facility has to be also the most stringent regulatory body in the world. So the TGA are not particularly happy people. So what I did is had a look at the TGA listing to see what claims that this product can make to everybody. Now on your bottle, which I think there's a bottle up here, isn't there, Anne?
Not in this room, it's in the museum.
Oh, in the museum, okay. On the bottle,
Dia pinjam botol yang ada tadi.
Yeah.
beautiful. So on here you have
pregnancy itu, look, katanya dulu nggak boleh orang hamil.
Iya, itu
pregnancy. Look.
Yeah.
Istri saya minum satu hari satu.
This on the label only says maintain support of energy production, body tissue repair, regeneration, general health and well-being. Your catalogue also just says this. But when I looked at the TGA listing, it says all of this. So you can see here it maintains and aids and helps glucose, sugar, carbohydrate metabolism. So anybody that has problems with metabolic disease, or diabetes, or anyone that has problems, with their weight, this is a great supplement for that. You can also see it helps in a healthy pregnancy, so you can take this while you're pregnant. Also, it's cognitive function, mental function, supports nervous system function. My unique selling point for NAD is you don't need a multi, you just need this. So in a multivitamin or a B vitamin, you have to take 1, 2, or 3 supplements a day. If you want to get an energy lift or boost your metabolism or help your cognitive function, you just need this. Does that help?
All in one. Yes, you can make that.
It is globally, your competition that's doing NAD
Mhm.
is becoming a very popular and very trending. So if you're talking to your customers,
Mhm.
I would lead with a product like this.
Mhm.
It's inexpensive, it works, and you'll see it instantly. Now, I told your other group, if you took this with a CoQ10, you will feel it.
Coenzyme Q10. No, we actually have CoQ10 inside.
That's got a ubiquinone in it.
Yes.
So when you take this,
Beta-carotene.
you should actually, bang, it should work. If you're a night shift worker, does anyone here work at nights? Or if you're,
Some.
yeah, and customers sometimes do night shifts. Take this before you shift, you'll have your energy overnight. Any questions?
Or maybe the USP that we would like to know is sometimes they are comparing the companies like Homart. Okay, I have company X and you have Homart. What makes Homart stand out compared to other companies?
Yes, well, Australian made.
Comparator, yes.
Australian made is our big one, because everything is all here made in this Australian facility. So we have the strictest of quality. We have 40 people in our quality department. So every single tablet is cited. So if you're making 50,000 tablets, they all looked at individually. So the quality that is made here in Australia. Now, if you're going to another brand that is also made in Australia, we use the finest ingredients to go in here. So I think they're the key unique selling points for using the Homart manufactured brand.
Yes, also I can add like the Bio-NAD Plus Boost, the precursor that we use is nicotinamide and nicotinic acid, which is approved by TGA, right? There are other two that people use for NAD precursor, which is nicotinamide riboside and NMN. These two are being leveraged as the more potent version, but unfortunately, the safety data is not there. So the safety issues that rise is currently not known.
Yeah.
I think that's why TGA does not allow
No.
nicotinamide riboside and nicotinamide mononucleotides.
Correct. So TGA won't accept anything that is not supported by Cochrane review evidence. So unless it's traditional, but in this particular instance, it would need to be Cochrane review, which is our gold standard. So you can't suggest anything to the TGA unless it has very specific, driven studies. No questions. You all get that. All very.
Yes. He has been grilling us with
I was
this
gonna say
information for
days.
months.
Yeah, I'm giving quite a detailed information already.
Awesome. Well, I hope I've helped and reinforced what you've said
Oh,
in that.
indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, good.
So we know he's not lying.
What?
We didn't even sync this up.
That's why.
No. I said to the group, what should I say? And they said, we don't know. And I said, I'll talk a little bit about NAD+.
Saat apa lo ke depan berasa pakai bahasa Indonesia mau direkam? Kan bahasa Indonesia.
Ngapain?
Udah
Biasa.
biasa.
aja. Itu sama kok.
Banyak kok.
Nanti
Kayaknya
aja.
Nanti aja.
Nanti meeting aja.
Nggak, pas meeting aja.
Meeting aja.
Nggak habis waktu.
Ditransitin dong, Dok.
Nggak habis waktu.
Mau tanya.
Lu mau
Dok,
mau ke FO nggak?
Mau tanya dong.
Ya,
Mas ya. Buat Indonesia kamu transitin ya. Sorry ya. Jadi apakah bahan baku yang ada di Bio NAD Boost ini adalah milik perusahaan Homart atau dari perusahaan lain?
Okay, so
Bahan bakunya.
he's asking about the raw material. Does it come from Homart or we
You
procure it
acquired from
the other
other
place?
Yeah, so we do. So we have a certain level of quality through our unique suppliers that we get. So we don't manufacture the ingredients ourselves. We will procure them from around the world. Yeah, depending on that.
I'm sorry, guys, but the time is up. The other group has waited.
Okay,
That's
okay.
it.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you.
One more question. After using this NAD plus, you got a plastic effect.
Yes. And that's like when you go running, you've never never gone running before,